Pakistan's Kashmir rant continues unabated. This time, Pakistan has taken it to the United Kingdom. The country's Foreign Minister, Shah Mahmood Qureshi, is trying to use the House of Commons for a quote-unquote Kashmir conference in London. Qureshi is leading a Pakistan government effort to hold a seminar on the report of the UK All-Party Parliamentary Group on Kashmir. That panel is headed by the British Member of Parliament, Chris Leslie. The report, which was brought out last November, is critical of the Indian Army's presence in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Qureshi is also expected to join anti-India protest marches across London. India has lodged a strong protest with the UK government. New Delhi asked the British government to stop the conference and to not allow the same in the first place. The conference is all set to take place inside the British Parliament. The UK, meanwhile, has said it will not interfere in the matter. The British High Commission spokesperson in New Delhi said, and I'm quoting, UK members of parliament are independent of the government. It is for individual members to decide who they meet and for what purpose. New Delhi is keeping a close watch after Qureshi made an unprecedented phone call to Hurriyat leader Mirwais Umar Farooq. Qureshi invited Mirwais to the conference being held in London. India called out Pakistan's duplicity during a press conference last week.
There are these two faces of the government which are play at the same time. One face talks about peace, good relations with India, and the other face takes action which are completely anti-India.
Let's get in further details now from our London Bureau Chief Mandy Clark joining us on the broadcast. Also joining us is our Pakistan Bureau Chief Anas Malik. Coming to you first, Mandy, what's the latest coming in? Has that event already begun?
It is hasn't begun yet. We're expecting the speaker to start around 3:30. It is an invitation-only event, so it's not people aren't really able to access it, and that's a level of great frustration, certainly among a lot of the foreign press who have a deep interest in the story. It's a very closed shop, this event, but it is happening in the committee room. It's not the actual Houses of Parliament. It's not addressing the House itself. It's happening on the side in a committee room for an all-parliamentary committee.
Right, and Mandy, also before I go across to Anas, Mandy, what have the UK authorities said and how have they tried to justify the permission that was granted for this event in the first place? Various anti-India protest marches that were also set to be organized in London. How has the UK government justified those, and what explains their move to say that they cannot interfere in these matters?
Well, when it comes to a talk, it wasn't framed as anti-Indian. If the talk is framed as anti-Indian, then certainly they would close it down. The talk is framed on the issues of Kashmir, and though the report is highly critical of India, they want to encourage open debate. Of course, this was not commissioned by the government. That's what they're certainly making it absolutely clear. They're trying to keep arm's length from this. This is a member of Parliament who is chairing it, essentially providing a room in the House of Commons for these talks to take place. They do feel that if they close down the talks, they're essentially, that's outside of the government's remit as closing down democracy and discussion. When it comes to the protest itself, they would have had to apply to the Metropolitan Police. I tried to get a bit more details, and they said they certainly haven't received any applications for protests that are specifically anti-Indian. So it would have been how they framed that application for the protest. Now, if it borders on hate speech, the protest, it will be quickly closed down because that is against British law. It has been flagged to the British police, and so they will be looking out for any hate speech that might occur during the protests.
All right, stay with me, Mandy. I'll just come back to you. Anas, what exactly does the country's Foreign Minister, Shah Mahmood Qureshi, hope to achieve through this conference?
Well, Molly, it is unprecedented, but Pakistan is trying to play it down and trying to spin it up because, remember, this announcement of this conference being held first came from the Foreign Minister himself. But last week, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokesperson, Dr. Mohammad Faisal, in his weekly briefing, he emphasized that this event is not organized by the Pakistani government. In fact, it is organized by the Kashmiri diaspora, and the Pakistani government has been invited for participation, and that is the reason it the Pakistani side is having its government level representation of the highest level, including the Pakistani foreign minister. Not just that, we are having the Pakistani political parties, all of their representative, including the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs. They are currently in London as well. Just a while back, as we speak, the Norwegian Prime Minister, the former Norwegian Prime Minister, Kjell Bodvik, he met the Pakistani Foreign Minister at the Pakistani High Commission in London, and from where they'll be going towards the House of Commons, where Bandy is, and he'd be addressing this anti-India conference, this Kashmir conference, as the Pakistani side says. And what they intend, they say that the alleged human rights violation in Kashmir, in the Indian side of Kashmir, they said they want to highlight that they're emphasizing on the British parliamentarians group and alongside the UN Office of the High Human Rights Commissioner's report as well. But Pakistan, by and large, the Pakistani side is pushing the Kashmir provocation to its to its fullest. Something unprecedented that we saw today throughout Islamabad is that there have been banners that have been put across all across Islamabad. Previously, in previous years, it used to be around that diplomatic enclave and not inside and around that red zone. But this time, it's all around Islamabad. We've taken around the city, and I can confirm that this has happened. Unprecedented it is as well, because the banners have also been placed inside the diplomatic enclave, a very high security zone that houses all of the embassies. The provocation from the Pakistani side is to that extent that a banner had been placed right in front of the Indian High Commission. That is indeed a greater provocation from the Pakistani side. It was later removed, but it speaks on the duplicity of on the part of Pakistan, where on one end it wants to talk peace with India, whereas on the other end it quote unquote it goes on to place these alleged human rights violation banners right in front of the Indian High Commission. Yes, Molly.
Indeed, and that's exactly the kind of argument that Pakistan has been trying to back its claims with. India, of course, has called out that attempt being made by Pakistan to take that Kashmir round all the way to London. We're going to leave it there for the moment. Mandy and Anas, thanks very much indeed for joining us with those details. We'll, of course, keep a close eye on the latest coming in on that front. But